Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my May 2018 anticipated reads list. So as I talked about last month, I'm not talking about all the books that I have on my list for May for anticipated reads, books I'm looking forward to coming out. I picked a select 5. Actually this month it's 6 because I wanted to do 5 books, but there's an extra special one that I wanted to kind of add at the end that comes out at the end of the month, but I still wanted to kind of mention it because it makes me very, very happy. But yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys about the books, and I'm going to read the back of the books to you guys so you get a little bit more information, because I do not know a lot about these yet because they have not been released yet, but I am very much looking forward to them. So let's start off. Coming out on the 1st of May, and as usual I do these in order of release date. So coming out the 1st of May is called Until There Was Us by Samantha Chase. This is book number 7 in the Montgomery Brothers series. I've read Samantha Chase this year. I do enjoy her writing, and I am looking forward to this one. It says, Megan Montgomery has always been the careful type, except one time at her cousin's wedding where she threw caution to the wind and had the steamiest hookup of her life. But that was 2 years ago. Why can't she stop thinking about it? So when Megan accepts a job at her cousin's company, she does everything she can to avoid Alex, knowing he'll shake up her carefully crafted world. Alex Rebit's been living a good life. He loves his career and friends, but like Megan, he hasn't been able to stop thinking about their passionate encounter. And once Megan moves to town, Alex makes it his personal goal to show her that maybe it's time to start taking a few more risks. Sounds really, really cute. It is 7th in a series. I think I am going to be putting it on hold at the library, or putting one of the older books on hold at the library so I can get to that one relatively soon. The next 2 books, I just want to make sure, the next 2 books are actually more, I believe they'd be more considered to be literary fiction, but the covers drew me in when I was kind of looking through books on Amazon, like the Coming Soon on Amazon. And what I read, what both of them were about, they both appealed to me. So as you guys know, I mean, primarily I read romance on this channel. A lot of mystery thrown in, but primarily romance. But I do really enjoy literary fiction every now and then. It's kind of a nice change of pace, and both of these sound really good. So let's talk about them. The first one coming out May 8th is The Ones We Chose by Julie Clark. I believe this is her debut novel. And it says, Lisa Geneva meets 23andMe in this exploration of the genetic and emotional ties that bind, as debut author Julie Clark delivers a compelling read about a young boy desperate to find his place in the world, a mother coming to terms with her own past, and the healing powers of forgiveness. So I read that and I'm like, okay, sounds interesting. So I went on to read a little bit more. The powerful forces of science and family collide when geneticist Paige Robson finds her world in an upheaval. Her 8-year-old son Miles is struggling to fit in at his new school and begins asking questions about his biological father that Paige can't answer, until fate thrusts the anonymous donor she used into their lives. Paige's carefully constructed life begins to unravel as the truth of Miles's paternity threatens to destroy everything she has grown to cherish. As Paige slowly opens herself up by befriending an eccentric mother, confronting her own deeply buried vulnerabilities, and trying to make sense of her father's unexpected return, she realizes breakthroughs aren't only in the lab, but when tragedy strikes, Paige must face the consequences of sharing a secret only she knows. So it sounds really, really good. I'm really interested in this whole DNA and genetics thing. I'm very much trying to look into my family tree. I do have a friend who actually did the DNA test thing, and it has put her in contact with 2 second cousins. I mean, that whole thing really interests me, so this book I am very much looking forward to reading. This one is definitely going to get a hold put on it at my library as soon as it's released, as is this next one, which is coming out also on May the 8th. Carousel Beach by Orly Konig, I believe is how you say the last name. A cryptic letter on her grandmother's grave and a mysterious inscription on a carousel horse leads artist Maya Bryce to Hank Hustler, the 90-year-old carver of the beloved carousel she has been hired to restore in time for its 4th of July reopening in the Delaware beach town. Hank suffers from Alzheimer's, but on his better days, Maya is enthralled with his stories of his career. On his off days, he mistakes her for her grandmother, his secret first love. While stripping chipped layers of paint off the old horse and peeling layers of fragmented memories from the old man, Maya untangles the intertwined secrets of love, heartbreak, and misunderstanding between 3 generations of strong-willed women. That sounds so good, and I cannot wait to read it. Sorry about that, guys. If you cannot tell by my watery eyes, I just suddenly went into a coughing fit. So good thing I had my tea here. All right, so the next one, also coming out on May the 8th, is The Other Lady Vanishes by Amanda Quick. This is book number 2 in the Burning Cove series. I'm not going to tell too much about this one because it is a mystery, and I know a lot of people like going into these things kind of blind. But it says, the New York Times bestselling author of The Girl Who Knew Too Much sweeps readers back to 1930s California, where the most dazzlings of illusions can't hide the darkest secrets. I love the cover. This one sounds really good. I've read the entire back of it. But yeah, Amanda Quick is a very, very good author. I know a lot of people really enjoy her work. And, you know, 1930s California, like, you know, old Hollywood and all that, it just sounds like it's going to be really, really good. Now we're going to jump all the way to the end of the month. And coming out on May 29th is Too Wilde to Wed by Eloisa James. Obviously, this is a historical Regency romance. You can tell by that half-naked guy on the cover. Eloisa James is a great author, and when I saw she was coming out with a new book, I had to grab it, or had to put it on this list. And this is book number 2 in the Wildes of Lindow Castle series. I do own book number 1, and I believe this is about a family. A family, like each story is about a different member of the family. The handsome, rakish duke, heir to the dukedom, Lord Roland Northbridge Wilde, known to his friends as North, left England 2 years ago after being jilted by Miss Diana Belgrave. He returned from the war to find out that he's notorious. Polite society has ruled him too wild to wed. And then it sounds like it's going to be the relationship between him and, you know, the woman who jilted him kind of idea. So, you know, a typical historical Regency romance romp, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And the last book that I want to talk about, I've known that this book is coming out since September of last year. I keep tabs to see if there's anything new being released in this series, and when I saw that another 3 books were coming out this year, I got super excited. So coming out also on May 29th is Fade to Black by Heather Graham, book number 24 in the Crew of Hunters series. Sorry, happy dance. I just love this series, you guys know that. So, like I said, 3 more books are coming out this year. There's this one coming in at the end of May. I believe there's one coming in the end of July or August, and then another one in October. So they're not monthly back-to-back. They're going to be spread out over a couple months. But as I'm reading the series, as you guys might know if you've been watching my channel, I read one of these books every month. And I am slated to complete to book 23. Did I say 24? Book 23, which is all that has been currently published to this date, by, I think, June or July of this year. So I could continue on and go ahead and read book 24, but I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. So there are these 3 books that are slated to come out. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to read this one this year. I might decide to jump into this one in November or something like that, October or November, and read this one. We shall see. But I'm not necessarily going to make sure I fit it in because I've got a lot of other books that I want to read this year. For my Stacking the Series challenge, I only have myself getting to book 23 because I didn't know if there was going to be any... Well, I knew that these were coming, but I still didn't want to stick them on the list because I didn't have titles or anything yet. So yeah, so let me just do a quick reading about what this one is about. Starring in a cult TV show was a blessing for Marnie Davertay, especially now that her former fame could support her future dream of starting a children's theater. So she'll work the convention circuit. But then a co-star is brazenly murdered in front of her, with a killer who vanishes into thin air with seemingly an inhuman skill, and strange events plaguing Marnie. She feels she can't even trust her own senses. Although his dear departed parents were famous actors, P.I. Brian McFadden is about as far from Hollywood as you could get. The former military man is reluctant to get involved in such a bizarre case, but it quickly becomes obvious that Marnie is in grave danger, and he is compelled to help. It's unclear if the killer is an obsessed fan or something more sinister. Could the show's cast be cursed? How can Brian keep Marnie safe when it becomes apparent that there's a force determined to make her his final curtain call? So this one takes place obviously in California, Los Angeles. It sounds like it's going to be really good. It's a crew of hunters. I mean, you can't go wrong. The other reason, now I do believe that the audiobook is coming out at the same time as the ebook, but I'm still going to give it a little bit of time, and obviously these ones get listened to on audio because I do love the narration, and I believe I think I already looked on Audible, it's Luke Daniels who's narrating these ones, so I'm very, very excited. So anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. That is my anticipated reads list for May. Please let me know if there's any books that you're looking forward to coming out in May, or do any of these books sound good to you? Please let me know, and until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.